Discover Akwa Ibom. Discover Akwa Ibom. Discover Akwa. Welcome to Akwa Ibom, the best place to be. Welcome to Akwa Ibom, the promised land. I discover Akwa Ibom, a peaceful people. So you are welcome to Akwa Ibom. Come on, I'm coming. I say, come, live, walk and invest in Akwa Ibom. This is the promised land. Come, walk and live and invest in Akwa Ibom. Discover Akwa Ibom. Discover Akwa.
Akwa Ibom State, the land of promise. Governor Dom Emmanuel is fulfilling the promise. Excellent infrastructure, industrialization, aviation development, agricultural revolution, human capacity development, giant leap in healthcare and educational development, peace and security, hospitable people, tourist delight and investors heaven. Join the train now. Come, live and work in Akwa Ibom State. Governor Dom Emmanuel, the completion agenda on course. Only God. Powered by the Ministry of Information and Strategy, Akwa Ibom State.
When the Founding Fathers envisioned a state of their own, decades before its creation, they did so in honesty, sincerity, and with the hope that when it shall come to be, unity, love, and progressive development would be the lot of the people. The forebearers sustained their hope and maintained decorous agitation for a unique identity, from being the mainland part of Old Calabar province of the then Eastern Nigeria, which later became the Southeastern State in the 1967 State Creation Exercise and later renamed Cross River State in 1976. That hope, forbearance, and the never-say-die spirit of the Founding Fathers paid off during the administration of President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida when he proclaimed the creation of Akwa Ibom State on September 23, 1987. The spontaneous jubilation that welcomed the creation of Akwa Ibom State spoke volume of the appreciation and preparedness of a people to step forward and be numbered among the greats in the geographical space called Nigeria.
That Sunday evening, when it was announced in the radio that Akwa Ibom State had been created out of Cross River State, what was the Southeastern State, the urge was for us to leave Calabar and go home, and we did it.
All the Akwa Ibomites in Port Harcourt River State rejoiced because we were very happy.
Happened to be in the team of the women who received the first military governor of Akwa Ibom State.
I was a person officially invited to pray on the day, the first ceremonial day of Akwa Ibom State. And I was the first person that prayed for progress and development of Akwa Ibom State.
It was like a dream come true. So it was a welcome development, a very happy celebration.
As Nigeria's 21st state, Akwa Ibom has in 35 years progressively fulfilled the lofty dreams and aspirations of the Founding Fathers. Today, Akwa Ibom, with the sobriquet, the land of promise, maintains a leading position in economy, politics, and socio-infrastructural development, giving her a pride of place in the Committee of States in Nigeria and beyond.
For development to really go to the grassroots, people started agitating for state. And by the special grace of God, Akwa Ibom State was created out of Cross River State.
We've come a long way in terms of development.
When I look at the comparative development that has taken place nationwide, it appears to me that we are the leading state in a number of areas. We have traveled a number of mileage to the land of fulfillment.
There is a lot of development in terms of the period of life and the development wise. By the time we get to 40, I know that those who come behind us will nod their heads, although they do not know the background that has brought us this far.
We are much better off. If you compare even the life in Uyo now and what it was then, a lot of improvements, a lot of changes, positive changes.
The impressive story of Akwa Ibom State and her people, everywhere they are found, cannot be divorced from the benevolence of the Almighty God in helping to enthrone visionary political leadership in the state at every point in time. From the foundational efforts of the first military administration of Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Tunde Ogbeha at creation in 1987, every successive leader has made significant contributions to the success story that Akwa Ibom is at 35.
I give kudos to all those who have been at the helm of affairs of governance in Akwa Ibom State.
All the government, the governors that has been, especially this governor has made us great.
The first 3 military governors, they did well for the state. Then the subsequent governments have come and done a lot, much more.
While it is undeniable that every military and civilian leader of the state deserves to have his name etched in gold for invaluable contributions to the larger objective of a greater Akwa Ibom, the unusual grounds covered since 2015 when Mr. Udom Emmanuel took over the reins of leadership as elected governor of Akwa Ibom speaks volume of how quickly visionary leadership can transform a state.
We have come to sound the clarion call for all to see the shout of sunshine bursting through the horizon and rising up. Now is the time for us to obey the biblical injunction, for us to wake up the mighty men, beat out our pruning hooks into spears. Now is the time to let our nation see our ingenuity as Akwa Ibom people. Now is the time for creativity and innovation in our land to manifest. Now is the time to wake up the mighty men and women so that our nation will know that we are a great people and blessed as a generation.
The man Udom Emmanuel is sensitive to his environment, knowing that Akwa Ibom is a civil service state. And so from time to time, he injects different sectors. Somebody to be thinking, not only for the immediate what do you do now, but think about the future. We cannot continue as a civil service state. Somebody here He's thinking, Nitongnerum, what do we do for them?
Governor Emmanuel has, in the over 7 years of his administration, set the state on an irreversible path of greatness. Indeed, every sector has benefited from his leadership acumen. One of the most ambitious undertaking of the Emmanuel administration is industrialization. Armed with a vision to turn around the economy of the state from its civil service orientation to an industrial and knowledge-driven economy that is capable of attracting foreign direct investment, the governor engendered an environment that is conducive for business to thrive.
You see people in the school, even right from year 1 student, 2, 3, 4, 500 level student, is already talking entrepreneurship, it's already talking business. That mindset of Akwa Ibom civil service state is no longer, is gradually degrading. So these and many other things I've seen the state consciously trying to do for upcoming entrepreneurs.
The Akwa Ibom of the past years and Akwa Ibom of today is different, because I've seen a lot of youths, a lot of young girls coming out. Like, there are lots of girls going into entrepreneurial skill like tailoring, fashion designing, cosmetology, and so many things.
Akwa Ibom is a livable community. You can run a business securely. We have young people that are into technology, and we have the government also cooperating in points where learning of technology and accessibility to technological learning for business is good.
Technology has grown. It started quite in the 80s, the 90s, and of course in Nigeria, which I can actually testify to. It has grown. We used to have a few Akwa Ibom people who were playing in that space, but now we have so many of our people playing in the global space.
Today, with over 20 industrial concerns in the kitty, Akwa Ibom is fast becoming the industrial hub in Nigeria and beyond.
Quite a lot of the enterprises started by His Excellency Udom Emmanuel. For example, the rice in my constituency, the rice mill, coconut refinery, then the flour mill, then the plywood manufacturing company, then you now come to the fertilizer assembly plant at the back. Now you want to talk about all those other industries that made name in Nigeria, like the meat tanks company, the syringe, those are big names.
We used to beg investors to stay in Akwa Ibom State, beg. No matter how late we had meeting with them, on completion, at the end of the meeting, they would insist to go to Calabar or Port Harcourt. But today, why shouldn't I be happy? I see people fly in to stay in Akwa Ibom. That is kudos to Akwa Ibom State.
In the health sector, Governor Emmanuel, apart from maintaining free health care for pregnant women, children under age 5 and the aged, has embarked on the reconstruction and equipping of general hospitals across the state, bringing them to previously unimaginable high standards. Determined to achieve food sufficiency in Akwa Ibom, Governor Emmanuel has revolutionized the agricultural sector of the state. Part of his robust agricultural initiative include the massive cultivation of cassava across the 31 local government areas of the state, establishment of cassava processing mills in the 3 senatorial districts of the state, the Greenfield Fertilizer Plant to boost food production, rice mills in Ini and Ibionibom local government areas, the King's Flour Mill, amongst others.
I promise the people that before we leave office, 80% of what we consume must be produced in Akwa Ibom. I think this is a classical case. We just try to look at those things that make us and those staple food that we actually eat.
His Excellency Governor Dom Emmanuel has been a key player, setting up different investments in agriculture to ensure that Akwa Ibom State attains food sufficiency.
In the area of human capacity development, the governor has, through policy formulations, program development, and project implementations, relentlessly made tangible marks in developing capacities both in the formal and informal sectors. Apart from the free and compulsory education policy and continuous interventions in public educational institutions from primary to tertiary levels, his administration has, for example, ensured the conversion of former Technical College Ikonadaidem to a state-of-the-art entrepreneurial and skills acquisition center.
At the inception of His Excellency's administration in 2015, he laid emphasis on skills, vocational and technical education as the bedrock for the future economic strength of the state. What we have here is an upscale on the rudimentary technical and vocational education.
Also, the first batch of the Ibom 3000 project, an initiative designed to train 3,000 youths for proficiency in various skills in the oil and gas sector, graduated and were empowered with laptop computers and other necessary kits. Since 2015, the administration has facilitated local and foreign training and retraining of different shades for different categories of civil servants in the state.
So training and retraining, which is part of the human capacity development policy of His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, the Governor Emmanuel, is very important. That's why we emphasize on it.
In the same vein, the administration of Governor Emmanuel has made indelible mark in the aviation sector of Nigeria. Having improved on the facilities at the Victor Atta International Airport, he established Ibom Air. Ibom Air came as a pleasant entry into the Nigerian airspace. In just 3 years of its entrance, it has influenced and caused a massive change in the aviation industry in Nigeria. With unwavering commitment to safety, service, excellence, hospitality and innovation, Ibom Air has remained the preferred airline of choice by passengers flying its routes.
When you look at the blueprint of Ibom Air, you know that a lot of preparation had been invested in it. So that is why, despite the economic gloom currently in the global space, that economic circumstance is unable to affect the growth of Ibom Air. So when you look at their business case, you look at how they are costing currently, you just simply know that a lot of thought processes had gone into this. Akwa Ibom will become an aviation hub, which is the focus of where the governor is heading to. When it becomes an aviation hub, the impact of that on our economy will be marvelous.
In our maintenance, in our operations, in our standards, in our safety, and in our security standards. We do not compromise that for anything. Our brand ethos is like a promise we've made to the people, and any brand value is based on keeping that promise. So we want to, as much as possible, keep that promise. We do everything within our capability, environmental issues permitting, to stick to that promise, and which is to give the people value for their time and their money, and to treat them well while they're getting that value.
Before the conclusion of the completion agenda of the administration, Ibom Air would have spread its tentacles into regional destinations in West Africa, proudly flying the Akwa Ibom colors.
I am not an air traveler, but I tell us that access to Akwa Ibom by air has been a very critical factor in giving us identity known within the context of Nigeria and beyond.
In the area of infrastructure, the performance of Governor Emmanuel has been salutary of the last 7 years. Across the state, he has constructed and rehabilitated several roads and bridges, thus opening up hitherto inaccessible communities for enhanced socio-economic activities. Handled by local and international contractors, the roads are constructed to international standards.
And this administration came in and built all the link roads. A lot of people don't know that there was a time we had flyovers for a season, for a period, for a time. And then another person came in and built what? Link roads. That when you leave your work, you can drive back home. You can get out of your house.
The sophistication of the 21-story Dakada Smart building in the Uyo Business District is certainly a demonstration of the foresightedness of the Emmanuel administration. Before now, a lack of a befitting office accommodation had been blamed for the inability of international oil companies, IOCs, and other multinationals to maintain offices in Uyo, the state capital. With a clear understanding of responsibility to ensure the security of lives and property, Governor Emmanuel has, through multi-pronged approach, effectively made Akwa Ibom one of the safest states to live and do business in Nigeria.
We believe defense, security is number one on that line. Once we get the nation secure, we get to fight other vices that might actually derail what we do as a country.
With the outstanding progress recorded over the last 35 years, Akwa Ibom, no doubt, stands tall among her contemporaries and is on a firm pedestal in the Nigerian Federation.
I emphasize and expect Akwa Ibom will be one of the greatest states in Nigeria. The future is very, very, very bright.
I wish Akwa Ibom State everything good. Many more years of proving itself and becoming the land of promise, truly.
I would like to see, and the signs are there, are developing, for Akwa Ibom to become a highly industrialized society in the nearest future.
I pray and I wish this state will grow beyond what we've seen.
The prayer for the state is that there be peace. And let us please think of having a state that would look like China.
We are already growing. We are moving fast. So I pray we move faster.
Akwa Ibom at 35, and happy birthday, Akwa Ibom.
The journey to better days and the dreamland of a greater Akwa Ibom state remains in focus.